Morning. I hope you are all doing well by the grace of God. Okay, please, can we get a volunteer to say a short word of prayer with us? So you put up your hand so that I can ask you to unmute. Then we quickly discuss what we did last week. Then we look at what we are supposed to do for today. All right, Miss Rebecca, kindly unmute yourself.
Please, we are praying. Our Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you for another wonderful day. We thank you for how far you have brought us. We are beginning another lecture. Most of all that we seek is retentive memory. Let us be able to understand whatever that we have been taught. At the end, we shan't forget to say glory and honor be unto your name. This and many other things we ask through your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Miss Rebecca. Okay, so can we have just 2 volunteers? That's a recap of what we learned last week. Any person to tell us what he or she remembers from last week's class. Any person, please. Hello. Is anybody to tell us what, as a way of recapping of what we did last week? If not, I'll just look through and then call anybody at all. So, Jamila Mohammed. Jamila Mohammed, if you can hear me. Please, any volunteer. Let's not waste time, please. Any volunteer. Okay. Fidelis.
Okay. Good morning, madam.
Morning.
Last week, what I took home was we started with a community, and we said it's a social group that is determined by physical, geographical boundaries, where people live there with common interests and share same common values and their norms. They went to the characteristics of the community, where we say it's a community has a defined geographical boundary. Then the people living there also share same common interests and values, as well as norms. Then from there, we move to the subsystems of the community, where we had the economic subsystem that deal with production of goods and services, which other people also use as a means of livelihood. Then we talk of the social, where we have interaction between community members. Then education, we also have some means of learning within the community. Then we have the environment that they live as also a subsystem, where we talk of the air that they breathe in there. Is it good for them? The water they drink, as well as sanitation issues. Do they have sanitations as well? Then also means of communication. When you go to some communities, they mount these speakers, maybe at the market or at a particular location where they can always communicate information. Or the chiefs use the gong beaters in places where they don't have electricity to mount these speakers. Then from there, we also learn about prevention of diseases, where we said it is a avoidance of disease before it starts. Then we went to the levels of prevention, where we had the primary, secondary, and then tertiary. Then the primary prevention deal with the education we give to the people so that the disease itself does not occur or the incidence does not start. Then the secondary deal with the early detection and management of the disease. Then the tertiary deals with now the disease has occurred. We have to treat and then also what? Do the manage the complication as well as the rehabilitate the fellow back into the community. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much. So he has summarized everything that we learned last week. Thank you. So today we are going to look at health promotion and then health education. We'll try to look at the difference between the two. Then hopefully next week I will get you some questions. Yes, if we complete what we are supposed to do and then we have enough time, we will have the questions solved in groups as a means of presentation. If not, then they will be submitted as assignment. So we are going to look at what's the difference between health education and then health promotion. We've been using them interchangeably. So can anybody tell us what he or she thinks health education is? When we say health education, what do you understand by health education? Health education. So we've been doing this in our various facilities. We do give health talks and all that. When you say health education, what do you understand by health education? Anybody to try? Okay, Miss Otilia. Miss Otilia,
Good
please you
morning,
can.
madam.
Good morning.
Yeah, so health education has to do with, let's say, health workers assisting people in order to work towards achieving a maximum health.
Okay,
And
so
then health promotion, it's more like health workers assisting people to change their lifestyles or adopt lifestyles that can help them to promote their health. Thank you.
we assisting people to adopt lifestyles that can promote their health.
Yes, that's the
Okay,
promotion. And then
okay,
the education, we give them information, like
good.
helping them to make informed choices that can help promote their health.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. So once we are providing them with the information, that is the health education, then we assisting them to make informed choices. That becomes the health promotion. Let's take one from Miss Irene. Oh, all the other hands are down. So it means that they had similar views. Okay, there is another hand up. Miss Helena Akins. Miss Helena, please, you can unmute and talk.
Okay, thank you, sister. Sister, please, with mine to the health education, it teaches how people make healthy choices. Like we educate them on how to make healthy choices, and with the health promotion too, we help improve their health in the community or anywhere they find themselves. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let me share my slide and then, all right. Please, I believe you can all see my shared screen. All right. So just as Miss Otilia tried to distinguish between the two, when we say health education, we are assisting individuals, either separately or collectively, to make informed decisions on matters affecting individuals, family, and community health. Process of assisting individuals acting separately or collectively to make informed decisions on matters affecting the individuals, families, and community health. So definitely we will have to, there should be an information. that needs to be disseminated to people. So it can be an individual, it can be a group of people, it can be a family. And with the information we are giving to them, it pertains to their health. And once they receive the information, we assist them to make informed decisions based on the information that we have given to them. So that is what we mean by health education, assisting individuals either acting separately or collectively to make informed decisions on matters affecting individuals, family, and community health. So it facilitates the development of health-related knowledge, skills, and attitudes by applying various theories. So once we give them the information, it helps them to gain the requisite knowledge and skills that they need. And the information that we are giving to them is based on theories or based on what we have learned. So as we deliver to them, they in turn also get knowledge and skills, and then they are able to apply them in promoting or in coming about with good health. So health education also encompasses the utilization of teaching and learning strategies. There wouldn't be any education without teaching. So just as we are in class today, learning virtually, there should be teaching. And then after teaching goes on, it is expected that the others at the receiving ends, like the individual, the family, or the community members, also need to learn what they are being taught. After we have given them the information, the recipients of whatever information retain voluntary control over their decisions to change their behavior. So all that we will have to do is to provide them with the information. But as to if they are going to accept what we are saying to help them in changing their behavior, they have that sole mandate to do so. So whatever we are giving to them, how serious it is will also influence them to change or to decide to take whatever we are saying. So learners retain voluntary control over their decisions to alter their behavior. It centers on behavior change that has been shown to enhance health status. So that is what health education is about. So when you look at this diagram or this picture here, we have three things over here. Can anybody describe what he or she can see on the screen? There are three pictures here. Can anybody? Okay, Miss Rebecca Nyakon, please you can unmute yourself and talk.
Okay, madam, I can see I think we have exercise, our feed, and then the environment.
Okay, so she sees someone exercising. The environment, what specifically do you see about the environment and the food as well? What specifically do you see about it? Any other person? Miss Marian Lamte, please you can unmute yourself. Miss Marian, please you can unmute yourself and talk. If she's not ready, then Mr. Francis. Okay.
Sir, please, with the environment, you can see that there is environmental pollution. Because looking at it, it's like
Are you sure that it's environmental pollution you can see? Okay, that is how.
Yes,
That
and the
is
food, looking
all
at
right.
the food, it's it, it, it's not a balanced diet. Let me say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chunky food.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
Okay.
can say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's take the last one from Mr. Francis Esrifi.
Good morning, madam.
Morning.
Please, with the environment, I can see it look more like a galamsey site.
Thank you.
Look like a degraded environment,
Okay.
and the food looks appetizing, very very appetizing.
But is it healthy?
It's a junky food.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
madam.
So, yeah. So you see, we all have our different ways of seeing things. So usually what we see about a community will inform the kind of education that we'll give to them. So whatever you perceive to be a risk or a threat, a health-related risk in the community, you plan your education to meet that need. All right, so next we are going to look at the aims of health education. The aims of health education. So the first one is to ensure that health is valued as an asset in the community. One, health education seeks to make people really place value on their health, to equip people with skills, knowledge, and attitudes to enable them to solve their health problems by their actions and efforts. So once we have given them the information, once they have received the requisite knowledge, then they will be able to solve their own health problems based on the education that we have given to them. The next aim is also to promote the developmental and proper use of health services and improve their sense of responsibility for their health. So these are the aims of health education. Okay, so before we look at what health promotion really is, we want to talk about a brief history of health promotion. So there was the first international conference on health promotion in 1986, and this was held in Ottawa. Ottawa is found in Canada. So during the conference, a launched series of actions to achieve the goal of health for all by the year 2000. So the Ottawa Charter for Health Promotion, that is the first international conference on health promotion, held in Ottawa, that is Canada, on 21st November 1986. The conference was a commitment to health promotion. So they realized that there were so many factors that were bringing about ill health. So at the conference, they sought to come out with ways in which they could minimize those factors and then promote the health of people. So during the conference, the participants pledged that they were going to move into the arena of health public policy and to advocate a clear political commitment to health and equity in all sectors. So they pledged that they were going to see to it that policies are made to promote the health of people and also to see to it that there is equal distribution of available resources in the community. They also pledged to counteract the pressures towards harmful products, resource depletion, unhealthy living conditions. So as I mentioned that there were some factors that was bringing about ill health. So they pledged to reduce those factors. So to counteract pressures towards harmful products, resource depletion, unhealthy living conditions and environments, as well as bad nutrition. They also pledged to focus on public health issues such as pollution, occupational hazards, housing, and then settlement. The Ottawa Charter identifies 3 basic strategies for health promotion. So the first strategy has to do with advocacy for health to create the essential condition for health. So when we say we are advocating, meaning that we are speaking on behalf of something. So one strategy that at the conference they came up with in order to promote health has to do with we seeking or looking for conditions to create health. Then the next one has to do with enabling all people to achieve their full potential. When we talk about enabling all people to achieve their full potential here, we mean that we should make sure that everyone has access to information with regards to their health. Everyone should have access to health resources. Then the last strategy has to do with we serving as a link between the different interests of people in their society in pursuit of health. So we sort of serve as a mediator or a link between the people and their health. So these are the 3 strategies outlined at the Ottawa Conference or the Ottawa Charter for health promotion. So we have advocacy for health, enabling all people to achieve their full potential, and then mediating between the different interests in society in pursuit of health. They also came out with 5 priority action areas to help support these strategies. So with the 5 priority action areas, we have building healthy public policy. So there is a need for us to come out with policies that will support health. The next priority action area has to do with creating supportive environment. We need to make the environment health friendly. We need to make the environment conducive to health. The other one, the next has to do with strengthening community action for health. We need to empower community members and also engage them in activities that will bring about health promotion. Developing personal skills. We also need to help individuals develop skills to promote their own health. And the last priority action has to do with reorienting health services. Reorienting health services. So we need to make health promotion a core part of health service. So these are the 5 priority action areas. Building healthy public policy, creating supportive environment for health, strengthening community action for health, developing personal skills, and reorienting health services. So down the history of health promotion, from the first international conference, which was held in 1896, the next one worthy of noting has to do with the 4th international conference, which is known as the Jakarta Declaration. So the first international conference is known as the Ottawa Charter. The 4th international conference, much relevant to our study, is the Jakarta Declaration. And this conference led to the health promotion in the 21st century. So the Jakarta Declaration on Health Promotion offers a vision and focus for health promotion into the next century. With the Jakarta Declaration as well, it identified 5 priorities. So you have to know the difference between the 5 priority areas as outlined by the Ottawa Charter, and that as stated by the Jakarta Declaration. So the Jakarta Declaration has also identified 5 priorities. And the first has to do with promote social responsibility for health. So we want people to become responsible for their own health. The next has to do with increased investment in health development, expand partnerships for health promotion, increase community capacity and empower the individual, and then secure infrastructure for health promotion. So these are the 5 priorities as stated by the Jakarta Declaration. We want to promote social responsibility for health, get people to become responsible for their own health. Then we also want to increase investment in health development. If you remember, last week we looked at people's attitudes towards health, and then we mentioned that those who see health as an investment will always put in measures so that they do not fall sick, because they see to it, they understand that when they are healthy, it makes them productive. Once you fall sick, it means that productivity will be deprived because you wouldn't have the requisite energy to go about things that will enhance productivity. So with the priority for Jakarta Declaration seeks to increase people's investment in their own health. Also to expand partnerships for health promotion, for us to get aids that will help in promoting the health of people, increase community capacity and empower the individual, and then also to secure infrastructure for health promotion. So that is the brief history of health promotion. So what then is health promotion, as some of our colleagues try to come out with? So we have established the fact that with health education, it involves the teaching and then the learning strategy, whereby we give out information, and then based on the information that we have given out, the people can make informed decisions. So when we say health promotion, we are helping people, we are enabling people to increase control over and improve their health. It moves beyond focusing on individual behavior towards various social and environmental intervention. So with health promotion, we are enabling people to increase control over their own health. It recognizes that individuals' values and prioritize their health and that of their neighbors. So once we want to enable people to have full control over their health, we need to factor the values, the norms of the people, and then we embed it in the activities that we intend to give to the people to help in enabling them to have full control over their health. It believes empowering the community has a much more significant health impact than empowering individuals. So when you are giving, you are helping members in the community to change or adopt a healthy lifestyle. Health promotion is saying that when we empower collectively the members of the community, it helps us to get a better health impact as compared to empowering just one person. The reason why it is so is that when you have a group of people carrying out the same activity to bring about their health, and then you have just one person, sometimes there is the likelihood for just an individual to give up. But then when it is being done collectively, let's say I'm helping people to exercise. When I'm looking at the larger community and when I'm focusing on the individual, at a point, the individual may get tired and then will give up. But when I'm focusing on the group, when one person is even tired, because the others will be continuing with the exercise, it can serve as a motivation for the individual. That is why we are saying that empowering members of the community has a much more significant health impact than empowering individuals. So health promotion calls for advocacy, accomplish good health by enabling all people to achieve their maximum potential for good health. Aim of health promotion. So the main aim of health promotion is to encourage people to behave healthily. When we say that someone is behaving healthily, what we mean is that a person eats nutritious food. So with the picture that we saw, that is an example of a junk food, which is not a nutritious food. So to behave healthily, you need to eat well, exercise regularly within your physical capabilities. Miss Bridget, please check your end. To live healthily, you should be sociable. So if we all attend a gathering and then on several counts realize that an individual is isolated, we would want to find out what is wrong with the person, because we are learning that behaving healthily, you should eat well, should exercise regularly within your limits, should be sociable, should be agreeable. There are some of us who will never see eye to eye with others on issues. When you don't even agree on something with someone, how you go about it will tell us whether you are healthy or not. Being healthy also means being helpful towards fellow humans and then resting regularly. So for us to, that is the aim of health promotion, to encourage people to behave healthily. And I've explained what goes into healthy behavior. Let's continue. The purpose of health promotion is to focus on a person's potential for wellness, encourage appropriate alterations in personal habits, lifestyle, and the environment in ways that will reduce risk and enhance health and well-being. So that is the purpose of health promotion. Focus on a person's potential for wellness and encourage them adopt appropriate ways of altering habits, lifestyle to bring about health promotion. So that is the purpose. Rabiatu, please check your end. You are making inscriptions on the screen. So there are two strategies that we can employ in health promotion. We have the active strategy and the passive strategy. So with the active strategy, our focus is on the individual becoming personally involved in adopting a proposed health promotion program. So let me give a typical example of the active strategy. I realized that a particular community has high records of malaria in children under 5 years. So I can decide to design my activities and then go in using the active strategy. Over here, I am going to enable individuals to be able to embark on activities to prevent them from getting malaria. So what do you think are some of the measures that an individual can put in so that the person is protected from getting malaria? So before I come back to the question, let's look at the passive strategy so that with whatever your answer is, you as well give us that of the passive strategy. So passive strategy involves community empowerment. So with the active strategy, you are just empowering an individual to adopt a proposed health promotion program. So with my example on the malaria, they are providing measures to help an individual embark on to protect him or her from getting malaria. Then with the passive strategy, it depends on the community. So we are empowering the community to also adopt a proposed health promotion program. So back to my question, that you've realized that a particular community has a high record of malaria. Can someone give us active strategy in terms of the activities that a person can do to reduce malaria? And can we also get passive strategies to reduce malaria? Okay, so let's hear from Miss Dinah. Miss Dinah. Miss Dinah, please, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Yes, madam, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, for the individual, they are encouraged to sleep under treated mosquito nets. And then with the active parts, the community members are encouraged to embark on clean up exercises, especially cleaning their gutters and bushes around their houses, as well as clearing all stagnant waters around their various houses. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Mr. Francis Esrifi.
Okay, madam. Please, with the active one too, you can advise the individuals to keep their rooms inside of their rooms tidy, arranging the place and reducing the number of things within the room so that the mosquito parasite cannot get access to hide within the rooms and attack them during the night. And with the community one or the passive one, just like my sister said, we educate the community members to keep a tidy environment, the silt all drains, and then clear all bushes in order to prevent the malaria. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So please, I hope we all heard them. Yes, so you've been able to distinguish between the active strategy and the passive strategy. All right, so when we say promoting good health, let's look at what goes into promoting good health. When we say promoting good health, it involves a safe environment. If we want to promote good health, then we have to make sure that the environment is safe for mankind. There shouldn't be any harmful chemicals or any hazards in the environment that can bring about ill health. Also, when we want to promote good health, it involves enhanced immunity. Enhanced immunity. So over here, we need to encourage vaccination or immunization to protect individuals and communities. When we hear that there is an outbreak of a disease, then we would have to, and then there is a vaccine, we would have to educate and encourage people to take in such to be vaccinated. And then by so doing, we can say that we are promoting good health. The next thing when that good health involves has to do with sensible behavior. Sensible behavior. So we need to encourage healthy habits and then discourage harmful habits. So harmful habits, we can talk of sedentary lifestyles, such as smoking, taking in junk foods, and all that. So promoting good health involves we encouraging people to adopt healthy habits and then discourage harmful habits. Also, promoting good health involves good nutrition. Good nutrition. So we need to help people or enable individuals or people, family or community to take in good nutrition. And then when we are talking about good nutrition, please let us emphatically state examples to let them know. You know, sometimes people do not really know what they are taking in. So whatever they get, they feel it is a well-balanced diet. So I showed a picture of the junk food. Sometimes they feel buying these junk foods makes you rich, and then eating them as well is healthy. So we need to let them understand. So a well-balanced diet will neither be too much nor too little to eat, and it should have all the food nutrients in their right amount and proportions. So that is good nutrition. Also, promoting good health involves well-born children. Well-born children. Well-born children here means where every child is born a wanted child. Where every child born is every child is born a wanted child, and every mother is fit and healthy. So as part of the well-born children, we need to, as with our health education, educate them on the need to even have family planning done, on the need for protected sex, so that you don't give birth and then you decide to, or you don't get pregnant and you decide to abort the baby. Every child born should be a wanted child. And then when we talk about promoting good health, it also involves prudent healthcare. Prudent healthcare. So healthcare facilities should be available, and then people should patronize their services once they realize that they are not well. So when we talk about promoting good health, that is what it entails. Okay. Please, to this point, any question before I continue? Any question? Please, are we all together? If someone has a question, you can put up your hand and then you ask your question. Okay. So let's look at skills in health promotion. Skills in health promotion. So the first skill is advocacy. Advocacy. So let's discuss the skills, then we'll come back to the slide. So we have advocacy, lobbying, and then mediation. What do you understand by these skills? We are looking at skills that we need to help embark on health promotion. And the first one is advocacy. Please, what do you understand by advocacy? Okay, so before we come to that, Mr. Abdul Razak, what we said about the difference between the active strategy and the passive strategy is that with the active strategy, you are empowering the individual, okay, to put in measures to promote his or her health. And then with the passive, it has to do with empowering the community as a group, carry out activities to promote their health. Mr. Abdurazak, please, are you okay with the two? So I cited an example I asked a question using malaria, that at a place that you have so many records of malaria among children under 5 years, what can you do actively, and then using the passive strategy? And then we have some of your colleagues coming up with various examples. So active strategy, the individual can put in some measures such as sleeping under insecticide treated nets, applying these mosquito repellents and all that. And then with the passive strategy, you can talk about even they embarking on communal labor, collectively, they can weed around, they sell choke gutters and all that. So that is the difference between active and passive. The active has to do with the individual, enabling the individual, and then the passive has to do with enabling the community members as a goal to put in measures to promote their health. Okay. All right. So next we are looking at the skills that we can employ in health promotion. And I asked that what do you understand by lobby? The first skill has to do with advocacy. So what do we understand by advocacy? So we are looking at these three skills: advocacy, lobbying, and mediation. Advocacy, lobbying, and mediation. So you can take any of them. Please, what do you understand by these skills? Advocacy, lobbying, and then mediation. Okay, Mrs. Aikins.
Okay, sister, please, my understanding on advocacy is that as an advocator, you stand on behalf of someone to argue the person's cause or to speak on the person's behalf, making sure that whatever decision that will be made as best as possible will be in favor of the person. It's because you are looking out for the person's interest. So as we are talking about health promotion, for instance, let's say if things are going on or policies are being made that are not favoring the people, on the case of health promotion, as an advocate, you make sure that you speak the people's interest to the policymakers so that they reconsider the decision and make policies that will be in favor of the people. And the mediation, on the other hand, is like you don't take sides. As a mediator, it's like you are the middleman, okay, trying to make sure that the best is achieved and it is in favor of the two sides. The two parties come to a neutral ground. So just the example I cited, let's say a small community and their leaders want to make decision. So the people have their needs, and the leaders are also looking at the resources available and the type of needs they would be able to meet. So let's say the people want 3 things to be done, and the policymakers too are looking at the resources available and are thinking that what they can do at a time is 2, or let's say 1. So as the mediator, you hear both sides and you enable the people come to a neutral consensus. So let's say the people need 3, okay, and the policymakers or the leaders can do 2. So then they will agree, okay, then let's take A and B for in the meantime, then maybe the next time we go to C. So that is what I would like to say about advocacy and mediation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's take the last one from Miss Cecilia Mokwando.
Hello, sister.
Yes, please.
My colleague Esther has said it all. So
Yeah, but okay, okay, all right,
well,
continue.
with that a simple word, when we talk about the advocacy, is that you, the health worker, you become the mouthpiece of the community.
Sure.
Then when we come, you asked about lobbying.
Yes.
With the lobbying, you, the health worker, you communicate direct to those officials you need help from, whether being logistics or anything. So you lobbying, you become like influencer. Yeah, that's something short I will add. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for your submissions. So just as our sister said, so to advocate, it means that you are speaking on behalf of someone, or you are speaking to support something, specifically practices that benefit individuals. So as an advocate, the nurse assists the individuals in obtaining what they are entitled to receive. So she mentioned that even with policies regarding their health, we as the mouthpiece of the community members, we need to, if there are policies that do not help with regards to the health of individuals, then we as advocates should be able to speak on behalf of community members. So as an advocate, the nurse assists individuals in obtaining what they are entitled to receive from the system, while striving to make the system more responsive to their needs. Then we have the lobbying skill. Lobbying skill. I always say that if you don't know how to lobby, just go to the market, first stand there, and then you realize that sometimes some people can go to the market and they ask for the price of something, and the seller would sometimes, let's say, state a price or quote a price around 200 cedis, but you can have the buyer ending up buying the thing around 20 cedis. It all depends on how good you are able to argue or lobby with the seller. So one skill that we need once you want to go in for health promotion has to do with the lobbying skill. We should be able to persuade people to change. And then when we talk about persuasion here, we are not going to force them, but through your health education, if you really want someone to change or adopt healthy practices, it means that you really have to, the information really needs to go down well with the people. They need to come to understand why they are supposed to stop a particular behavior and adopt a healthy one. So lobbying in health promotion involves persuading individuals, families, and society to change harmful practices that are not healthful and encourage them to embrace healthful practices that add quality to their life. So that is what the lobbying skill is about. Then we have the mediation. So the skill of mediation. So to mediate means you are standing between two parties. So over here, we stand between the individual and their health. So we should be able to use the skill of mediation to connect individuals to their health. So these are the skills that we need help us in health promotion. So let's look at how we can plan our health promotion activity. So let's say you have gone to a particular community, community A, still using malaria. Realize that it is a malaria endemic zone. So let's look at how we can go about planning our health promotion activity. So the first thing will have to be your goal. Your goal. So you set your goal. So goal to reduce the rate at which children under 5 years get malaria in community A. That is my goal. Then I can set my objectives. Your objectives will help you to achieve your goal. So having explained this, I would want you to come out with some objectives that will help us to achieve the goal. And our goal is to reduce malaria among children under 5 years. What will be your objectives? So with what we are discussing, that is how I would expect with the questions that I will give, that is how I expect that you will go about it. So you'll be given a community with some characteristics, and then you'll be expected to let us know how you intend to plan your health promotion activity. So you identify your goal, and then you set your objectives. So at the end of, this will be my objective, at the end of, let's say, the educational session, can anybody tell us some things that we can put down as our goal, yeah, as our objective? We've established the fact that our goal will be to reduce malaria. Okay, Miss Esther again. Miss Esther Akins. Miss Esther Akins. Miss Esther Akins. Yes,
Sister,
please.
so by the end of the health promotion, the people will be able to understand the malaria as a condition, causes, treatment, prevention, and things they can do to help them stay on top of the condition.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That is a wonderful submission. Please, I hope you are all following. Miss Cecilia Mokwando, please, you can unmute yourself and talk.
Hello, sis.
Yes, please.
Please, Esther has said it. At the end of the health talk, the committee members will come to know what malaria is, the causes, its prevention. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
So I would advise that when you are writing it, don't just put everything together. So you can talk about what malaria is being the first objective. Then the second objective will be that they will be able to maybe state or identify the preventive measures of malaria. So don't just put everything together to just get one objective. So you can have about 3 or 4 objectives that will help you to achieve your goal. All right, thank you very much. So the next will be for you to identify the target or population of interest. So what do you think will be our target group? We are planning our health promotion activity. What will be our target group? Mr. Francis Estrifi.
Okay, sister. Per the scenario you give, our target population is children under 5 years.
Are you sure? Any other? Was the children under 5 years? Are you sure the children under 5 years can help put in measures to prevent malaria? I'm still seeing the same hands. Okay, Miss Esther Akins. Miss Esther Akins, please, you can unmute.
Okay, sister. So, to me, although we are looking at children under 5, just as you said, they can't put in the measures. So we'll be looking at especially parents of these children.
Thank you. So we would, our target population or our population of interest here will be caregivers of children under 5 years. So it can be the parent, the direct parents, or even if it's a sibling that is helping with the care. So the caregivers of children under 5 years will be our target or our population of interest. All right, so the next activity will be, all right, so there's another hand up. Mr. Samuel Inshira.
Yes, sister. Please, what is about pregnant women and the aged?
So it depends on the pregnant women and the aged. You see, I gave a scenario. So depending on the scenario, it will let you know the population of interest. So I was talking about children, malaria in children under 5 years. Malaria in children under 5 years. So the aged wouldn't even be part. If it had just been malaria without any specifications, then you can bring in the pregnant women as well as the aged. But once it is specific, okay, talking about children under 5 years, then over here, our focus will be on the parents or the caregivers of these children under 5 years. Okay, so the next one under our health promotion activity is identify your strategies. So we have discussed the active strategy and then the passive strategy. So, because you already talked about them, over here with children under 5 years, which of these strategies will you best use? And what will be some of the measures under the strategies? Please, we are looking at the strategies that we will use. Hello. Okay, Miss Dinah. Miss Dinah, please, you can.
Yes, madam. Please, the target is the parents or caregivers of children under 5 years. So we'll be using the active
Strategy.
yeah, the active strategy. Thank you.
Okay, so let's hear from Mr. Abdul Rashid Mahama.
Yes, madam, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, once we are targeting both the parents and that of their children. But here, if we want something to be done, I know very well that the parents will do it. So probably we have to use the active strategy in a way, and later if we wish, we can use the passive one, because we want them to do something as a community together as well. We cannot
Okay.
just use all the active.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So we can employ the use of both the active and then the passive. So you need to know what goes to each of them. The next will be plan your activities. Plan your activities. So let me skip this and then let's look at some of the activities that, so depending on what you are going to talk about, you can plan your activities. Miss Dinah. Miss Dinah. So depending on what you are going to talk about, these are just examples of health promotion activities. So we have education on nutrition, smoking cessation programs, physical activity programs. So over here, because we are going to talk about malaria, you need to get your health promotion activities on malaria. So you can talk about sleeping under insecticide treated nets. You can also talk about they putting on long clothing for the children, they not staying at night. So you can list all those activities down. And then after planning your activities, definitely you will need to carry out the activities. So when you are carrying the activities out, there are so many methods that we can use in communicating or disseminating information to the members of the community. You can either use flip charts. You can use, but you need to, whatever you intend doing, you need to use something that will be catchy to get the parents or the target group to patronize whatever you are saying. So you can use flip charts. You can even have a role play, a short play, where maybe you talk about someone not sleeping in his under insecticide treated net, and then the child getting malaria, talk about the effects of malaria, and then so these are ways in which you can use in carrying out the planned activities that will help the target group to really appreciate the magnitude of the health related events that you are talking about. Then after you have carried it out, you evaluate your outcome to make improvements in the future. So these are the steps that you need to take in order to plan your health promotion activity. Okay, there is a hand up, so we would want to find out why. Mr. Abdul Rashid Mama.
Yes, madam.
Yes, please.
In setting our objectives, will it be time bounded?
Yes, you can. You can set a time, but over here, when you want to you are promoting or you want to embark on health promotion, it takes time. It takes time. For instance, let's say you want to design a smoking cessation program. It will take time. So though it can be time bound, let's say you say that you are going to achieve your objective in a month. Let's just leave the objective open for now. Let's just leave it open for now. So you just set your objective without setting any time for it. But if you are really carrying out the health promotion activity, depending on what the problem is, you can make some estimation that maybe within a month you'll be able to achieve whatever goal that you intend to. Okay. All right. So next we are going to discuss the health promotion models. Health promotion models. So these models are theories and frameworks that help people and communities to make healthy choices. Theories and frameworks that help people and communities to make healthy choices. These models can be used to create programs that improve wellness. Health promotion models can be used to create programs that improve wellness. So we are going to discuss some of them. So we have the health belief model. A health belief model, which is an example of a health promotion model. So with the health belief model, it stipulates that people's health behavior are influenced by their belief patterns. People's health behaviors are influenced by their belief patterns. If I believe that when I eat well, I will not get sick, then definitely I will eat well. So what people believe in with regards to their health will let them carry out activities that will either promote their health or that will not promote their health. So that is a health belief model. People's health behavior are influenced by their belief pattern. The next model is a theory of planned behavior. Theory of planned behavior. So this is a widely applied behavioral model. It helps us understand how behavior of people can change. It helps us to understand how behavior of people can change. That is the theory of planned behavior. So the theory of planned behavior is based on the person's intention to perform a behavior. And this is influenced by their attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control. So if, let's say, I want to change my behavior or I want to change an attitude, my behavior, the first thing that will influence me wanting to change my behavior will be my attitude. I've come to realize that I need to put in measures to promote my health. And because of that, I want to change a particular behavior. Another thing that will also influence me to change my behavior has to do with the subjective norm. Subjective norm has to do with what others think, what I believe others think. If I don't change this behavior with time, people may associate me with a particular thing. Therefore, I would want to change my behavior. Then the last aspect has to do with the perceived behavior control. Perceived behavior control. If I believe that I can have full control over the new behavior that I want to adopt, then I would go in for it. So that is a theory of planned behavior. A person's intention to perform a behavior is influenced by their attitude, what they believe others think of them, and then their perceived behavior control. So the theory of planned behavior want to quickly look at a scenario, and then we use the various concepts in the definition to come with it. So the health-related state or event here is breast cancer. Let's go back to the definition of a theory of planned behavior. It suggests that a person's intention to perform a behavior. So let's go to the behavioral intention. So the behavioral intention over here will be that I need to get regular exams and screening to check breast cancer. So the problem that we have identified is breast cancer. And we are looking at theory of planned behavior. So my behavioral intention is that I want to get regular checkups, regular screening to check for breast cancer. Let me take you back to another concept in the definition, which said that an individual's intention is influenced by their attitude towards their behavior. So let's go back and look at the attitude. So the attitude over here will be getting regular exams. So my intention is that I want to get regular exams and screening to check for breast cancer. The attitude that I need to have here is to regularly be getting these medical examinations done. So getting regular exams and screenings are good things for me to do. Then the subjective norm. Subjective norm. We said the subjective norm is perception of what others think that they should do. Perception of what others think they should do. So the subjective norm will be getting regular checkups and screenings are supported by society and doctors. We know that doctors do encourage regular checkup. So that is the subjective norm. What I believe others think that I should do. That is the subjective norm. And then the perceived behavioral control. The perceived behavioral control. I have places that I can go get this done, and it is within my control. So what the individual feels that she has the full control over to do in order to bring about the intended change. That is the perceived behavioral control. So the person believes that he or she has the power to get the screening done and it is within his or her control. So the result is that attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control all support getting regular checkups and screening, which makes the action of getting the screening a much more likely one. So this is how we can go about the theory of planned behavior. So the individual's behavioral intention, wanting to change or adopt a particular lifestyle, the attitude of the individual, the subjective norm, how others think about the um the subjective norm has to do with how others think about or what I believe that others think about the health related state. That is the subjective norm. And then the perceived behavioral control is the control that I think I can have over this whole change. So that is what the theory of planned behavior is about. The next model we can talk about is Panda's health promotion model. Panda's health promotion model. So this is based on the idea that people experiences affect their health outcome. People experiences affect their health outcome. So health promotion models are focused on exploring people's attitudes about health and individual experiences related to it. So something that I have encountered, okay, will affect my health outcome. So my experience, the experience that I've gained over the years will influence some lifestyle or some things that I do to promote my health. So that is what the Pandas health promotion model is about. So according to the theory, one would have to look at people's lifestyle, psychological health, social and cultural environment to understand most of their health-related decisions. So when someone decides to embark on something or on a measure that will either promote their health or not, if you really want to understand them, then you need to study them, look at their lifestyle, look at their social environment, as well as their cultural environment. And this will help you to understand why the individual has adopted a particular lifestyle. For example, not eating fresh vegetables because one grew up not consuming them It's a way of understanding why someone may suffer from a severe condition like obesity. So if you live or you were brought up in a home whereby you hardly take in vegetables, you hardly exercise, then when we realize that the individual is obese or has put in weight, has put on weight after we have identified or studied the person to know his or her lifestyle, to understand the cultural environment, then we'll be able to understand why the individual is obese. So that is what the Pandas health promotion model is about. The fact that people's attitudes about health can and then their experiences about health can influence them to take in a particular measure to promote their health or not. Then the next model we'll talk about is the resource model of preventive health behavior. The resource model of preventive health behavior. So this addresses the ways that people use resources to promote health. The nurse educators can use this model to assess health behavior and resources that influence health promotion. So with the resource model of preventive health behavior, Ms. Sarah Yeboah, please check your end. Ways that people use resources. So ways that people can use resources available to promote their health. That is what the resource model of preventive health behavior is about. So these are some of the models. There are several models of health promotion, but these are the basic ones that we need to understand. So next we are going to discuss behavior change. Behavior change. We have been talking about health promotion and established the fact that before we even enable people to promote their health, we may have identified a behavior that needs to change. That is why we go in to educate, or we go in to talk to the members of the community after we have identified a particular health-related state or event. So we are going to look at what behavior change is about, and we'll look at the behavior change communication. So behavior change, according to Nielsen et al., behavior change is positioned as a required individual adaptation for avoiding or reducing the risk of ill health. Behavior change is positioned as a required individual adaptation for avoiding or reducing the risk of ill health. So when there is a health-related event or when there is a ill health, and then we want people to change their behavior so that they do not fall sick or they do not get the health-related state, which is the disease. That is what we mean by behavior change. So as the influence of prevention within health services has increased, behavior change has become a central objective of public health and health promotion intervention. So we want to look at factors influencing behavior change. Factors influencing behavior change. How can the environment influence behavior change? Anybody to try? How can the environment influence behavior change? Or how can education? So we have 4 factors over here. You can take any of them and talk about it. So how can education influence behavior change? How can peer influence also influence behavior change? And then how can the media influence behavior change? Please, we are looking at the factors influencing behavior change. How can any of these influence behavior change? Anybody, please. Still the same hands. Miss Esther Akins.
Okay, sister, please, I'll take social media and
Okay.
media. Yes. So we know that the internet has now made the entire world a global village. So we get to see what other people are doing. So taking the example you cited, that someone who is obese because he wasn't privy to eating healthy. Let's say the person through the media, either advertisement, social media, gets to know that it is good to eat certain foods and see how people who were once obese journey their way through becoming normal weights and being healthy through good eating habits, exercise, and other stuff. It can motivate him or her to also decide to undergo that same activity in order to become healthy. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So she has explained how the media can be a factor that to influence behavior change. What else? So we still have the environment, education, and then peer influence. Can anybody touch on any of these factors for us? So, okay, Mr. Emmanuel Teneboa, please unmute yourself and talk.
I do that. Okay, please, for the environment, I'll talk about the environment. A person who him or herself in an environment that is tidy, that environment is said that dustbin has been placed at a vantage point. That environment is said that they have inscription and warning that you do not litter or do not dispose refuse indiscriminately. That person is forced to keep him or herself tidy by making sure that any refuse is being put in a dustbin. So I think with this, environment can influence someone's behavior. Thank you.
Okay, thank you as well. Mr. Maxwell Fosu.
Okay, I'll talk about education influencing our behavior change. People receive several forms of education, being formal or informal, and at the end of the day, it affects how they perceive about certain situation. For instance, before we came to nursing school, we were living our life as anyhow, in the sense that people who were in our society were the ones influencing how we are going to live. And we acquiring education informed us that there are several infections that we can pick them up in our environment. And touching our eyes, our nose without washing our hands will affect our health. So that is how I think education influence our health.
Okay, thank you. We'll take the last one from Theodora Obey. Miss Theodora, please, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, please, I'll take the peer influence. I understand that peer influence can affect us both negatively and positively. So positively, you can be in a group of people that they will influence your life positively. For instance, you can be in a group of friends who are going to school doing entrepreneurship skills. They can motivate you if you are not doing any of those things. They can motivate you. They can talk to you, educate you. Sometimes they can push you financially. They can support you so that you also become just like them. Negatively, you can be in a group of friends. They are smoking, they are drinking, they are doing all sort of things. So they can also, you can also fall into their line of behavior. So peer influence can do both. They can motivate you both negatively and positively. Yes.
Sure. Thank you. So with all the factors that we have even outlined, depending on how you argue them, they can, just as she said, they can either influence behavior change positively or negatively. Thank you. So those are the factors that influence behavior change. Let's look at determinants of behavior change. Why might people not change their behavior? People may not understand the message. When they do not understand the message, then they wouldn't even buy into what you are saying. People see themselves as vulnerable. Sometimes they see that, oh, even if I start whatever you are asking me to do, it wouldn't last. I'll still come back to square one. So then they wouldn't even buy into what you are saying. And then if people do not trust whoever is conveying the message, so you are talking about smoking cessation among a group of people in a particular community, and then they see you smoking. Once they don't trust, they lose trust in you. No matter what you tell them, whether good or not, they might not take it. So people tend not to change their behavior because they don't understand the message. They see themselves as vulnerable, and then they trust. When they don't trust the bearers of the message, and we then not seeing themselves as vulnerable as well. If the person does not really see the need to change, so like you are talking about smoking cessation, you talk about some of the health effects, the effect of smoking on the health of the individual. So as you are talking, as you are delivering, if the person doesn't see himself as vulnerable, as capable of getting those complications as well, and the person might not buy into what you are saying. When people also think that the short-term benefits of current behaviors outweigh the long-term risk. When people do not think about the long-term risk associated with their current behavior, then they wouldn't change. Also, when people perceive that some health choices are costly, so when we are talking about adequate nutrition, the person is now thinking, so I need to get more money because buying vegetables these days are expensive. And then we are talking about adequate nutrition, the person eating a healthy diet. When the person sees these healthy choices as costly, then they wouldn't even buy into it. So these are some of the reasons why people find it difficult making changes in their behavior. So we'll look at the barriers to behavior change. Barriers to behavior change. So let's discuss these as well. Individual barrier, self risk perception. So as I said, how the person perceives, the person does not really see anything wrong with um the behavior that he or she is currently portraying. Then that can be a challenge or a barrier to him not embarking on a change. Social-cultural, if there are norms that contradict with the behavior change you are talking about or you are saying as a nurse or a health educator, then those norms could serve as a barrier or could be a barrier to the individual wanting to make change. Then we also have system or structural barriers. So the quality of service, access to systems or let's say health facilities and policies that have been aligned to support um, people can also be a barrier to behavior change. If they don't receive adequate care, they don't have adequate resources or facilities, health facilities in their communities, then it can also be a challenge to behavior change. So next, we are going to look at behavior change communication. Behavior change communication, what it means is that after you have identified the need for a change, okay, the means in which you can dialogue with the individual or the members of the community is what behavior change communication is about. So it is an interactive process with communities to develop tailored messages and approaches using a variety of communication channels. So you have identified the problem, the medium through which you would deliver the messages that you have designed to meet the needed behavior change. That is what the behavior change communication is about. Interactive process with communities to develop tailored messages and approaches using a variety of communication channels to develop positive behavior. So reasons for behavior change is to develop positive behavior, to promote and sustain individual, community, and societal behavior change, and then to maintain appropriate behavior. We are saying that with the behavior change communication is a means through which you are going to communicate this change to the members of the community. So behavior change communication is a direct approach to changing behavior. It differs from traditional learning materials. So depending on the community in which you are going into, and then what specifically you want to talk about, you would have to get materials or learning materials to suit that change. Behavior change communication is a strategy that encourages individuals or communities to change their behavior. So there are elements of change. There are 3 elements that can bring about change. The individual's readiness to change. Do you have resources and knowledge to make a lasting change successful? So if you want to bring about community change, or you want to bring about change in general, we need to look at how ready the community members are for change. Do we have resources and knowledge that can bring about lasting change? So it's not about just it shouldn't be a, how do they even call it, a 9-day wonder. So it shouldn't be just, let's say you give the behavior change shouldn't be something that it happens today and that is it. No, it should last. It should last. It should become part and parcel of the person's lifestyle. So another element of change has to do with the barriers to change. So we need to identify anything that is capable of preventing the individual on embarking on the change that we want. And then likelihood of relapse. If we want to change a behavior, what might trigger the return of the former behavior? We need to talk about all these, look at them, and then put in measures to do away with these elements so that we can go about an effective behavior change communication. So finally, we want to look at the behavior change process. Behavior change process. So there are stages of this change model, which is an effective way in understanding how people go through a behavior change. So let's say we've identified a community in which smoking is on the increase. We want to bring about behavior change. Let's look at how we go about it. So at the first stage, after you have spoken to the person about stopping or reducing the rate at which they smoke, the first will have we can think of the stage 1 is a pre-contemplation. At this stage, the individual might even deny that the problem exists. So that is the stage 1, pre-contemplation stage. So the strategies you can do here is to let the individual rethink of the behavior, let the individual analyze the behavior, current behavior, and also think about the actions that the individual is portraying. So that is the pre-contemplation stage. Here, the person does not even accept that his or her behavior can bring about some threat in the near future. So that is the pre-contemplation stage. So beyond this stage, you now help the individual at the contemplation stage. So now here the individual has understood or has agreed or has accepted that there is a behavior that needs to be changed. So at the contemplation stage, you need to weigh the pros and cons of behavior change and confirm readiness and ability to change. So let the person understand. If you change or you stop smoking or you reduce smoking, these are some of the pros and cons of it. After you have weighed the pros and cons, then you will look at whether the individual is still ready or the individual still wants to change. So from there, you move on to the preparation stage. At the preparation stage, you are going to experiment with small changes. So write down your goals, prepare a plan of action, and make a list of motivating statements. So at the preparation stage, you need to let the person plan his or her own goal. The person should write it down. And then you are saying that you experiment with small changes. So if we're still on the smoking cessation program, we are to look at this at the preparation stage, then we are going to reduce the intake of whatever the person has been smoking. If the person has been smoking weed and he smokes about, let's say 10 a day, we are going to reduce the number of times that the person smokes. So we are saying that we should start or we should change gradually. We should change gradually. So experiment with small changes. So as you try to take the person off the smoking, it should be a gradual process. It should be step by step. So that is the preparation stage. The next stage is action. Action, it is direct action towards the goal. So our intended goal has to do with smoking cessation. So now here we have to assess the individual, enable the individual to carry out measures that will help us to achieve the goal, which is on smoking cessation. After you have assisted the individual, let's say to now reduce drastically what he or she smokes, there is a need for you to reward the person's success. Sometimes just applause. By mere words of motivation, you are encouraging the person. Next, you need to still encourage the person to maintain the new behavior. So maintenance stage is characterized with a maintenance of the new behavior change temptation. And the strategies that you can employ has to do with developing coping strategies for temptation. Yes, so now you are putting in measures or you've put in measures to bring about smoking cessation. But you need to let the person understand that there is a likelihood of the person relapsing. There is a likelihood of temptation. So you need to encourage the person to stay away from anything that can result in temptation or anything that will bring about relapse. So develop coping strategies for temptation. Then the last stage is relapse. Relapse. Because there is a probability for the person to relapse or to go back to the former behavior, you need to really talk about this. Let the person know that some characteristics of relapse is disappointment, frustration, feelings of failure. So with the obesity, you've been exercising for some time, but it doesn't really add anything. It looks as if you are not achieving your set goal. Then over here, you need to help the patient or you need to help the one who is embarking on the change. If you don't talk about the relapse, let the person know that there is a tendency for them to feel disappointed. There is a tendency for them to feel frustrated because with such detailed promotion activities you are talking about, they really take time before they can yield results. So you need to encourage the individual to be able to stay in, gather the information that you are giving to them to bring about the behavior change. So identify triggers that lead to relapse, and then you recognize barriers to success, and then reaffirm your goal and commitment to change. So these are the stages. The behavior change process is also another health promotion model. We want to change behavior. So the first one is the pre-contemplation stage, where the person has not even understand the need for the change. At this stage, the person denies the fact that he or she can have a complication of the behavior he or she has put on. moving to that, the next stage is the contemplation phase. So for the first stage, it still depends on the education. If the education goes on well, then it means that the person will now move on to the contemplation stage. Over here, the person has accepted that, yes, if I don't put in measures, if I don't change from this behavior, this is likely to happen to me. So the next stage is the contemplation stage. The person is now contemplating, so should I even go in for this new behavior that the health educator is talking about or not? So at the contemplation phase, you need to let the person know the pros and the cons of his or her current behavior. And that can also help the person to make informed choice. Then we have the third stage that talks about preparation. So now the person has accepted that this behavior needs to be changed. So at the preparation phase, you need to start the change gradually. It should be gradual. Still at the preparation phase, you need to let the person write down his or her goals. Writing down your goals helps to keep you on track. It serves as a motivation for you to want to embark on a particular change in behavior. The next has to do with action. Action. So you carrying out the exact thing that you want to do to help achieve your set goal. After now the person has adopted that healthy behavior, you need to maintain it. You need to maintain it. So by wanting to maintain it, you discuss some of the challenges away, that there might be temptation for you to go back to smoking, but you need to keep up or continue with the new behavior so that you don't go back. And then you need to also let the person understand that there is a tendency for a relapse, because the person might be disappointed that I'm carrying out a new behavior, but I'm not seeing anything. So when the person feels disappointed, the person has a feeling of failure, you need to identify what is bringing about these triggers. And then you recognize the barriers to success. You plan again with the individual, and then let the person reaffirm his or her goals and get committed to the change. So that is what the behavior change process is about. So please, do we have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so Abial or say Adolf, please, you can unmute yourself and talk.
Adam, good morning.
Good morning.
I saw in your slide that you said we should reward our successes. So how do you reward our successes?
Okay, so please, you can just tell the person that he or she is doing well. So you see, with reward, it's not always about incentives. So you can even say encouraging words to let the person know that he or she is doing well. So that is an example of the reward. If you also have other means through which you can reward the person with, why not? Just something to motivate the person to keep up with the new behavior. Okay, so please, to this point, any question? Again, did we all understand what we have learned today? Hello? Please, do we understand what we have learned today? Okay, if so, then by way of summary, we have just about 9 minutes. I want 2 people to tell us. Yes, please. If there is a relapse, okay, if there is a relapse, if someone is asking that if there is a relapse, does it mean that the whole process will begin again? It depends on the gravity of the relapse. If it's such that the person just needs to be motivated to continue with the behavior, the new behavior. But if it is such that the person now feels so helpless, then you have to start the whole process again. So it depends on the magnitude of the relapse. Okay. All right. So please, can we have 2 people by way of summary tell us what they are taking home today? Please tell us what you have heard today. Hello. Please, by way of summary. By way of summary, can anybody tell us what he or she has learned today? Okay, so Mr. Abdul, all those contributing have taken notice of you. I mentioned last week that participating in class also attracts a mark. So Mr. Abdul, please you can. Please you can unmute yourself and talk.
We have the strategies and they are active and then passive in promoting one's health.
Okay, so please, what did we say about the two?
The active has to do with assisting individual to take care of his or her health. And then the other one has to do with assisting the entire community with the best practices as far as health promotion is concerned. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So he says that he has learned today something about active strategy and then passive strategy. Please, what else? By way of summary, I want to hear what you have learned today. What else, please? Okay, Mr. Abiel Adolf, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we also talked about the influences. And we made mention of 4 influencer factors, which is education, the peer, and then the environment, and the other one I've forgotten about that one.
So we also talked about media.
Yes, and the media. Which we talked about ways through which it will influence us. And we made mention that with the environment, let's say wherever you find yourself in the environment, you make sure you cope with whatever is being done in the environment in order not to go wayward. And that the media too is influenced by let's say the media is influenced by, let's say, you go to the internet and you realize that they are preaching about something good. You are inclined to go by what is being preached on the media, and then Adam, I think I'll come back again.
Okay. All right. So today we've looked at what health education is and then what health promotion. And then we have said that with health education, it involves the teaching learning strategy. We need to give information out to people. And based on the information that we give to them, they'll be able to make informed choices. And then we've also talked about health promotion. And with health promotion, we are enabling people undertake some measures to bring about good health. Okay, so let's take the last one from Mr. Michael Edu Akono. Please, you can unmute yourself and talk. Mr. Michael.
Yeah, please can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. I was also adding up to what I have learned today concerning it's in relation with the Ottawa Charter.
Okay.
He said it was a conference that was held in 1986. And then they set up 5 priority actions, which we looked at building health policies, and then creating a supportive environment for the policy in action, and then strengthen the community action on these health policies. And then we develop the personal skills of the people in fulfilling these actions. And then we reorient the health services to help meet their health needs to promote them. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So I believe we have all learned something today. So we'll end here, and then God willing, next week we'll continue. Please, I would like the course reps to reach out to me. I want to know the number of groups that we have. Number of groups that we have. All right. So enjoy the rest of the day. Hopefully next week we'll meet. Bye.